Good morning, welcome to CATEX TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Monday, December 30th, 2013. Just a programming note. Tomorrow is New Year's Eve. There will not be a broadcast tomorrow on Tuesday, December 31st, nor will there be a broadcast on Wednesday, January 1st, 2014. We will resume our regular schedule, thank God, on Thursday, January 2nd, 2014. There's been another explosion, a suicide bombing in Russia today. This is the second in 2 days. Again, this is in the same town of Volgograd, a metropolis about 400 miles to the north of the Sochi Olympic sites. Today's explosion killed at least 14 people. It was a suicide detonation on a crowded trolley bus. Apparently, according to reports, it was another female suicide bomber. Yesterday, a female suicide bomber was responsible for a blast at a railroad station, killing at least 15 people and injuring many more. This is all apparently stemming from so-called Chechen black widows, who are widows of Chechen fighters who have been killed by Russian security forces. This ramps up the pressure on President Putin and the upcoming February Winter Olympics in Sochi, which promises to be a massive security event. Of course, the fear is that between now and February, there will continue to be more explosions. I think you can bet that that's a safe bet. There's a very interesting story that's been released today by the Chinese themselves from the government. They say that China's local governments are carrying total debt of nearly $3 trillion. This is a little smaller than worst case estimates, but far higher than what anybody had expected. It's about 67% higher than the last time the Chinese released this figure in 2010. This is money that the Chinese central government has loaned to local, municipal, and provincial authorities for infrastructure projects. A substantial part of it cannot be repaid because the public infrastructure projects that were paid for by this money have either not been completed or been completed and are financial failures. Translation, a very significant amount of this money has gone to the pockets of corrupt officials. Of course, the fact that some 67% of the Chinese economy is composed of debt that is expected not to be repaid presents a tremendous problem for future Chinese economics. Let's see if anybody else picks this up. There's been a significant volcanic eruption in Central America today. It was down in El Salvador. It was a volcano that is still spouting out. It's called the Chaparistique volcano. It shot gas about 3 miles high yesterday afternoon, including bits of lava and rock. The El Salvadorians are evacuating the area. Claims from the Costa Concordia disaster, which occurred about 11 months ago, the cruise liner that ran aground in an island off of Italy, are now set to break through the $2 billion barrier next year. Insurers, including many in the Lloyd's of London market, have so far paid out more than $1 billion, but they're also on the hook for the liability claims associated with the ship sinking, as well, of course, as the hull. They're expecting that the overall cost of the incident, which is right now officially listed at $1.6 billion, is not going to be the final amount by any stretch. Some observers are saying that the increasing cost of removing such a large wreck is being fueled by environmental pressure being applied to politicians. And they also note that the ever-increasing size and scale of vessels, such as the Costa Concordia, have created a tremendous drain on the salvage market, which doesn't necessarily have resources in place. And of course, the lack of salvage equipment affects the potential for insurance, which of course affects the potential for trade, because these ships will not sail if they're not insured. Guy Carpenter has said that the January 1st reinsurance renewals have seen significant price cuts. They said that overall, the rate on line index for property catastrophe business worldwide dipped by 11%, and in areas such as the United States, where insurance-linked securities competition is at its strongest, they've gone down by as much as 15%. Meanwhile, Ulrich Wallin, who's the CEO of Hannover Re, the third largest reinsurer in the world, said that Hannover Re will not enter into a price war in the face of falling reinsurance premiums and will sit out of the market if rates fall too sharply. He said, "We will decline a price war. We will forego business in 2014 if premiums fall too strongly." Presumably this drop that Carpenter reports is strong enough to keep Hannover Re on the sidelines. In Saudi Arabia, on Friday afternoon, a barge sank, killing 3 workers. Initially, it had been reported that an oil drilling rig had collapsed. It was the Arabia 4 barge. It sank Friday afternoon on the Safaniya oil field, which is in the Gulf. It's in the water. 3 workers were killed, 2 from India, 1 from Bangladesh. Recovery efforts continued over the weekend, but there were no other bodies that turned up. There's nobody listed as missing, so I don't know what the recovery efforts were doing. Aramco said, of course, that production, fortunately, had not been affected. Chinese police have killed 8 people after a quote-unquote terrorist attack in the country's northwest Xinjiang region. The 8 people were shot dead today following an attack on a police station. This was in the old Silk Road city of Kashgar. Apparently, the police station was attacked by a mob wielding knives. The police then attacked with guns and killed 8 people. Earlier this month, the police gunned down 14 people in another police station attack with more knife-wielding assailants. Presumably, the people who have been killed are Chinese Uyghurs. There's a substantial Muslim population in Xinjiang who say that they are plotting a holy war in the region, and we saw the Chinese. That's the news for today. Well, everybody's eyes are on Russia. We're trying to get some information as to which insurers, and Lloyd's especially, are on the hook for claims over there if something happens at that Olympics. Of course, there's going to be significant business interruption losses if the United States and others pull out, which could happen if more bombings occur and people feel they can't protect their delegations. We wish everybody a happy and safe New Year's Eve, and we'll be back talking to you on January 2nd, 2014. Thank you for watching.